Hey everybody, this is Devin with HDpiano.com, and I'm coming at you today with a classic tune from 1980, You Make My Dreams by Hall and Oates. Alright, so this was released on their 9th studio album called Voices in 1980, but it hit number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1981. And since then, I mean, it's been featured in countless movies, and, I've played it at a few weddings, not gonna lie, and I've just certainly danced to this song. It's just such a great jam. And I think it was even featured in an eHarmony dating commercial. So I've got one question before I show you the main riff here. What instrument is it that we're hearing there? It's obviously not a piano, but if you know or if you have any ideas, comment below and I will answer that question in the second video available at HDpiano.com. So here's the main riff. Check it out. It starts on the and of 1, just a heads up. 3, 4, 1. What I want, you've got, right? And that's where it starts. Okay, so let's dive right in. Pretty much, these are all our notes here. We do have that little B flat that sneaks its way in. We're talking about 4 Fs, a C, and a B flat. Just a heads up, middle C is right here. So we're talking, we're real low on the piano. If you have a small keyboard, use that octave button to lower the sound so you can get that kind of like low, thick sound from the record. So what we have here is basically 4 bars, and we have a main riff that's definitely trickier than it looks. It's very syncopated between the 2 hands. And it may seem like a small section to teach as one video, but the idea is, in this video, we can really focus on the isolation and getting that interaction between hands. And in the next videos, I think the rest of the song will come quite easily because it's more or less that same bouncy rhythm, except we'll just add a few new chords, all right? So it's essentially a 1-bar loop with a unique start and a unique finish. So let's begin by just learning what it looks like in 1 bar. Infinitely looped. So left hand starts with 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. All right? I said starts with, but that is the entire loop. 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. So beats 1 and 4 are identical, and beats 2 and 3 are identical. So 4 and 1, 1 and 4, 1 E and a, right? A quick jump from a low to a high F. And in the other measures, an even, 8th note jump from low to high F. 2 and 3 and, right? So nice and slow, the left hand looks like this. 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. Right? So it's kind of a swung rhythm, right? There's a bit of a swing to it. It's not right? It's kind of a lilt. So that's why it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a. You can call it swing 16ths, but not too heavy, just a bit in that direction, And I think if you listen to the record and you're familiar with the song, you'll just naturally let that come out. So one more time, 1 E and a, 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. Okay? Now the right hand, I'm going to show it as more of a response to the left. Because if you got the left strong, then we can just build up with the right and we'll slowly get that whole measure loop. So 1 E and a, 2. Okay, so 1 E and a, 2. So the left hand on its own, 1 E and a, 2. So on beat 2, finally the 2 hands hit together. So that's the first beat. 1 E and a, 2 and. All right, see what I'm doing? So I'm adding the and of 2. 1 E and a, 2 and 3. Okay, so there's 2 beats for you. So I'll back up because that might be a little fast, right? 1 E and. That's our first measure without hitting beat 2. 1 E and 2. All right, so you add that hit on beat 2. 1 E and 2 and. We add this high F. 3. We hit 3 all together. So those first 2 beats, let's check those out in an isolation. sorry, 1 E and a 2 and 3. Okay, one more time. 1 E and a 2 and 3. Okay, moving on now. 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4. So this came in on 3 E and a 4. 3 E and a. So that's just beat 3. 3 E and a. 3 E and a. So this is the final 16th note of measure 3. 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So measure 4, we know that the left hand changes to 4 E, and then the right hand picks up the second 2 16th notes. 4 E and a. Right, so beats 3 and 4. 3 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Just beats 3 and 4 again. 3 E and a, 4 E and a. All right, so if you put that whole loop together, and I know it's tricky, but use that pause button as much as you want and make sure you get it nice and strong in your hands. And try and really feel like your left hand is creating the foundation, right? Because it's definitely the most repetitive, easiest to understand part. So you can rely on your left hand and stick that right hand in when you know it fits right. So 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Again, 1 E and a 2 and 3 E. Oops, sorry. 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and a, 4 E and a, 1. Okay, up to tempo. Looks like this. Sorry. All right, so there's the ending, right? I hit beat 3 nice and hard, and that's when they come in with what I want, you've got, right? 3, what I want, and then it starts again. But we'll notice that it begins in a little bit of a tricky spot. In fact, if you just play the record, you might get a little confused, like, wait, where is the downbeat exactly? Well, it comes in on the and of 1. So it's as if we're going to skip that first left hand 1 E and a and make it 1 and 2. All right, so the first measure just is a slight variation of the usual loop. 1 and 2. So we actually hit our hands together on the end of 1. 1 and 2, and continue as usual. And 2. All right, but that's just for the first measure. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and a 1 E and a 2. Right, you'll notice that the left hand then resumed the original pattern of the 1 E and a. So we start on the and of 1. 1 and 2. And then we continue as usual. So, all in all, the main riff condensed as the intro that we hear, as the first thing that we hear when we put on the record, is this. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, and 2 and 3. And we hit 3 nice and strong. Okay, so that is the main riff. And if you've got that under your fingers, then you will definitely be good to go for the rest of the videos over at HDpiano.com. I'm just going to show you a couple new chords, but we're kind of going to keep that same, syncopated interaction between our left and right hands. We're going to go to the 4 chord. Ooh, look at that. It's a little churchy, but that's how they end, some various sections. We've got the bridge, right? So I don't want to give too much away. But essentially, you're off to a great start if you can play the intro, because the same vibe applies to the whole song. All right, so this is Devin with HDpiano.com, home of the hybrid piano lesson. Thanks for your patience and your hard work, guys. And of course, we love your love on Facebook. So give us a like over there, HDpiano. Also follow us on Instagram at HDpiano, where we're happy to repost your performances. Right, so unlike the 80s, we can actually interact on the interwebs and share our progress with each other. And on Twitter, at HDpiano, with the hashtag HDrequests, you can let us know what you think we should include in our catalog, right? So we can get to recording some new videos for you guys. All right, this is Devin tuning out. Thanks, guys.